Welcome back to the farm, everybody. We have some very exciting news today because yesterday afternoon, we actually had a new addition to our farm, and I am very excited to introduce you guys to this new addition. Of course, we can't go anywhere on the farm without being greeted by our gate crew. We've got Larn, we've got Toby dog, we've got Abby dog, we've got Telemachus, we've got Barnacus. The whole entire crew is here, and this should be a fun day on the farm. Abby dog, you are just way too full of energy here, girl. I want you to sit. I want you to sit and stay seated. Yeah, there you go. Just be a good calm cat. Yeah. You want to go show everybody the new addition? We don't want to waste too much time. So yeah, yesterday around, I don't know, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I came out here to check on a couple things. And I noticed that yes, we do in fact have a new animal here on the farm because one of our cows actually just calved, which I know isn't exactly exciting because we are in the midst of calving season, but this is a very special calf. So I'm gonna come in here. Abby dog, your energy is way off the charts today, so I'm going to have you stay out. Like, I don't love it when she's all like playful like that around the cattle, so when she gets in a mood like that, I actually just don't even let her in. Toby dog might sneak in, but his energy's always fine when it comes to this stuff. Good morning, Belinda Carlisle. I don't see your calf around. And how are you doing, baby bee? It's good to see you, sweetheart. Hi. And here we have Anne of Green Gables, and I don't see your calf around. And we have Bonnie McMurray, and I don't see your calf around. There's some calves right here. So we got Buttercup, Princess Buttercup, who's Anne's calf right over there. That looks like Cindy Lauper, who's actually Belinda Carlisle's calf. And now you'll notice our two big Charolais. You've got Alice B. Tokless in the foreground and her mom, Astrid, in the background. And it actually was Astrid who had a calf yesterday. I came out here and I must have missed the birth by about 15 minutes or so because there was just a newborn calf right back there. You can actually see Toby dog sniffing around, probably looking for the afterbirth if I had to guess. And it was just really super adorable to see. Yeah, let's go find the calf. I don't see her over near Astrid. That doesn't really have me all that distressed. Astrid, where's your baby? Is she around? No? All right, I'm gonna look. Let's see if we can't find that calf. I see some of the other calves are actually out back here playing. Hi, Betty Rubble. How's you doing? Good to see you, girl. Hi. Wait, Abby dog, can you help me find this calf? Where's the calf? Where's the calf? Oh, Toby, I would prefer it if you didn't eat any of the afterbirth remains. It looks like Mom already ate most of it, so that's okay. Hey, Amanda Hug and Kiss. Where are the other calves? Here we have Meatloaf hanging out with his mom. And then we have Curly Sue. And oh, actually, that is Cindy Lauper over there. That little calf running around and sprinting around like that. But wait, I'm looking for our new calf and I don't see him. Where is he? Because yeah, he is a bull calf. Uh-oh, now I'm a little concerned. Did he get on the other side of the fence somehow or create problems? Probably just napping somewhere, but where? That little calf back there that I saw earlier, that's actually Ariel's calf, who we still haven't named, but you guys will have a chance to name her. Ariel does not like having Abby around. Where's your little one, Astrid? I'm sorry, this is like admittedly very unsettling, so you're gonna have to bear with me here as I try to figure out what's going on. Oh wait, is that the calf? Hold on, let's go over and investigate. I think I found him. The spunky calves are scattering now that I've gotten up. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Curly Sue. That's just a clump of grass. I thought it was the calf, but it's just a clump of grass. Oh, there it is. Oh, but he did get separated from everybody, so that's the problem. It's not necessarily a bad thing at this second. Hey, little fella. You're separated from the rest of your crew. You just came over here to nap, huh? Mom's really unhappy that we came over here. Both Mom and Big Sister came running when they heard the distress calls. Alice, you're a good big sister, but you're kind of an intimidating cow. I will tell you that. Look at her. She's so protective of her little brother there. You don't have to give stink eye there, Alice. Calm down. Alice B. Tokless is always kind of in a state. But yeah, as you guys can see, there goes our little calf. I'm going to give them some space. I don't want the mamas to get upset. But the really exciting thing is that this new calf, he's gonna represent the first crossbreed calf that we have here on the farm. You see, most of the cattle that we have on our farm are a breed of cow known as the Scottish Highland, which is a, very shaggy, somewhat small framed, but very durable, very docile, and very self-sustaining relative to other cattle breeds. They're outstanding when it comes to just being in the rugged weather, being outside, being able to, you know, have calves really easily without complications. They just do a lot of things really well. Because then what you're gonna see are these white cows, like you see crazy Alice B. Tokless running around over there. So they're Charolais, and back in January of last year, we actually added 3 Charolais. So we added Alice, who is still just being weaned from her mom, Astrid. We added Amelia Bedelia, who's back there, and she's actually Buffy the Vampire Slayer's mom. And then Astrid, who, again, is that new mom that you can see with her calf right here. Hi, Astrid. Just talking about you. I got the Bosie shot in for that little one yesterday, but I was actually hoping to come out and ban this little guy today. But unfortunately, this is a little too chaotic and I don't feel comfortable. Alice in particular is just looking very aggressive right now. And I just want to be very, very careful for my own safety. And that really is the thing about Charolais cattle. Like, they are much larger. They are similarly as rugged as the Highlands. So, you know, I'd have a very good weather crossbreed. And essentially, like, the thinking was, if you have a smaller father in the form of a Scottish Highland bull like Macho Man Savage and a bigger mom, you're not going to have any calving problems because it makes for a relatively smaller calf. What I really wanted to do was try to experiment with crossbreeds as a way to get like a really good beef animal, but with some of the quirks of the Charolais worked out. Like, I don't know, I've personally found the Charolais much more difficult to work with. They can be a little more unpredictable, a little more dangerous even. And so I don't love them from that perspective. And so I really wanted to try and experiment and see what that kind of crossbreed would look like. And I suppose, as you guys are seeing in today's video, we now have our first look at a crossbreed. And I don't know, I think it's kind of cool. Alice, you're so protective of your little brother. And yes, it is a little bull calf. So because he's gonna be raised for beef, he's gonna get a dead rock star name. And actually Allison picked it out when she saw him first thing yesterday afternoon. And so his name is now Elvis Presley. So you can see little baby Elvis with his mom Astrid and his big sister Alice B. Tokless. Well, this is the next level of chaos. We've got goats mixing with calves. Yeah, goats, I don't think you should be in there. I actually would like you guys to come with me. Yeah, I know, you're excited to eat over in this spot. I know, it's exciting. The grass is starting to grow and everybody's really happy and excited about it. Hey, Betty White. Here's Betty White. She's another Charolais. All right, we're gonna check back in with everybody in a little bit. But what I wanna do is actually tackle some of the other farm chores that we got today. Because it's getting to be that time of year where, like, there's just so much to do around the farm. You know, I mean, it's like 36, 37 degrees Fahrenheit right now. A little chilly, but I think the high today is gonna be like 60 almost. I've gotta actually get a coop ready and I've gotta move the weird chickens to their new coop. And then I gotta start clearing out their brooder house, which they spent the whole winter into. Because I think in about 10 days or so, I'm expecting all of my goslings to start hatching. And so I need a place to put the goslings. And so yes, it's definitely becoming that time of year where there's just so much to do. But admittedly, this might be actually one of my favorite times of year too. I gotta confess this to you guys, the goats are starting to become a little bit of a pain in the butt because I haven't been locking them up and they've been just kind of running around everywhere. And so now whenever they see me and they see me like feeding the birds, they kind of go crazy. Would you ducks care to come in? I'll chase away the goats. Get back in there, chicken. Chickens aren't allowed out yet. You guys have probably another 3 weeks before you start going outside full time. So yes, today we're gonna probably have to do something about that too. And I think that's gonna be my next task. Once I just do a quick check for some eggs. Like, ooh, would you look at this pretty egg? This one, actually, there's 2 of them. These are runner eggs, like runner duck eggs. So you can see their color. It's got like this like lightish blue hue to it. That's how I know which bird it came from. The white ones are the khaki Campbell. The gray ones are the Cayuga ones. And then these light blue ones are the runners. So if you want to know what the adult looks like, those birds that are like standing up, right, almost like bowling pins, those are the runner ducks. The brown ones are mostly the khaki Campbell genetics, and then the black ducks, those are the Cayugas. We got kind of a full house nesting box situation Got like two in this one, two in this one in that one in that one, two open ones. And then we got, somebody was just down there. They just got up. And we got 3 more eggs. All right, ladies, I'm not gonna disturb you, but overall it has been a very fruitful egg season for us this spring, which has been kind of nice. The geese were kind of slow to get started, but they've actually done a nice job picking up the pace in terms of their eggs. Hey, look, it's Bruce the Goose and his girls. How's it going, Brucey? How's it going, Toby dog? I know folks were asking in the comments of a recent video how Toby dog's doing, and honestly, he's doing good. One question I've gotten is about his Lyme disease and whether or not that's come back or flared up and created problems. And the honest answer is no. I get his levels checked about every 3 months or so just to like monitor things. And so there's a cost associated with that, but for Toby dog, I feel like it's worth it. And it's nice to know that he's actually doing well and feeling really good. And even though he's got muddy paws, he's a good dog. Yes, he is. Right on, Toby. Let's go, Falcor. Come on. Yeah. Now, I am pretty much certain that you boys are going to make moving the weird chickens this morning a nightmare. So I'm going to tackle my problem with you first, okay? So as far as the goats go, I actually want to move them out of this space. I'm going to clear it out. I have some ideas for how I can set it up better for next year. And so this whole area, like this goat yard that I've used in the winter, is going to get broken apart. Plus, I want to keep moving them to fresher ground. And so since we're past kind of the winter point of things, I'm going to kick the goats out of this house. And at least temporarily, I'm going to move them back into this house. In order to do that, I'm going to set up some fencing through here so they can go back to a spot that they were, I think they were last here probably like in September or so. And so I'm going to move them actually back here today. But in order to do that, I'm going to need some fencing. Now I'm going to try something a little different today to fence in my goats. Now, typically I will use the white like goat and sheep netting that you can get from folks like Premier One. That's typically what I'll use to fence in the goats this time of year. But this is actually what's known as a Gallagher Smart Fence. Now, the way this works is it's got multiple reels and each of these posts will come out and you can stick them in and then you can electrify the wires. When Gallagher sent it to me, I was thinking I was gonna use it for the cattle. And like, I actually use it when I move the cattle in like, you know, going either in the spring or in the fall to like go between the winter and summer setups. But I find that it's like overkill for daily cattle use. It just takes more time to set up than just a single reel and posts. And so I don't use it much during the regular season, but I'm wondering actually if it works well for goats. And so we're gonna test this out. Maybe it works horribly and I just have to go back to my old style of doing it. But if I can use this, it'll actually make it easier because this is easier to move around and set up than poultry netting, even though it's much harder to set up and more complicated to use than like a reel like the one that you see right there. I don't know what I did wrong here. The one downside to this is when it gets tangled, which it looks like when I put it away last time, it got tangled. It is a pain in the butt to untangle and fix. I feel like every time I take this out, I'm always like, oh, I should give this a try. It seems like such a good idea. And these fences are such good ideas in concept. It's just the actual practice of it all. It never works out the way it's supposed to. And then you end up wasting so much more time being very frustrated by it. And I hate that, but that is what it is. I think I'm gonna go to the less slick and elegant solution, but also the solution that I know works and is relatively straightforward to set up. All right, there we go. Nice and secure. I think we're ready to bring in our goats to their new, at least for the time being, paddock. I kept them in this same spot last year, really for the first few, for the first month or so that they were here. It worked out great, and so I'm not too worried about this. The other thing I did was over on this other side, rather than use the poultry netting just because I have a very short run, I just threw up a cattle panel right here to keep them from going through that side. I'm not too worried about it. It only really needs to be here for probably about a month before I move them on to their next spot. Did you hear that, Telemachus? The goal is gonna be to keep moving you guys about once a month to different parts of the farm and have them basically do groundskeeping duty for us. Hey boys, it's time to come with me because it's moving day and you're going to your new spot. Come with me, fellas, come on, right this way. You know where it's coming. Come on, hang on. Actually, let me go get your dish. Need both your food dish and your water dish. Hang on. I see 2 duck eggs. No, I guess no goose egg hiding in that nest. Here, I'll get your water and your minerals in a minute. Let me just get your food dish. Come on, boys. Let's go, come on. The downside of the goats is they can be a little bit pushy. The upside is they listen to me really well and they're very easy to train. Come on, fellas, come on. We're gonna give all the folks at home the satisfaction of watching goats scarf. There you go. Some fresh water for you boys. Now with them still fully distracted, I'm going to finish off their fence. There we go. So now the fence is secured. When I come in and out, I can either turn off the fence down here or I can just move that post over there. Makes it nice and easy. All right, we're gonna secure that end right there. We're gonna secure this end right here. And voila, we have an electrified fence that should keep my goats in place. And now, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it right now, but very soon I will be able to move my weird chickens into their new home and I won't have to worry about the distraction of the goats. The other thing I gotta admit that I have to worry about is yesterday I was actually doing some repairs and fixing up the weird chicken coop and getting it ready for moving in again. And last fall the goats actually smashed the door and they broke in here and they've actually done some real damage to the coop itself. Like this break was their fault. They had knocked off a whole bunch of hardware cloth. And so not having them wander around, particularly when I'm putting grain inside there to feed the chickens, will make a massive difference. Of course, it's really starting to rain, so I don't think I'm gonna move the weird chickens today. That'll be a project for tomorrow. And I'll be back again with you guys real soon, and we'll be able to see more of our little crossbreed bull, or bull calf. I guess it's kind of nice to say hi to Elvis Presley. Thanks for watching, everybody.